Breaking news, five-star Dylan Harper has committed to Rutgers as of just after 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon, December 6th. I'm Aaron Brightman of the Scarlet Faithful podcast, coming to you with my rapid reaction. And it happened. It happened. We've been talking about it for months, and it happened. And it has forever changed Rutgers basketball recruiting. From this moment forward, the possibilities, the ceiling for recruiting, everything. There is nothing off the table anymore in terms of Rutgers in legitimate hunts for the top recruits in a recruiting class. And they've been in many over the years. There's many examples of Rutgers being in the fight down the stretch and losing out on a potentially program-changing recruit. The list is long. Lance Thomas, Tim Thomas, Jay Williams, Troy Murphy, Briscoe wasn't that long ago. There's been so many through the years, even when Pikiell got here, Naz Reid and Lewis King and all those top recruits in New Jersey. Rutgers got not only it's big for so many reasons, and people will harp on the recruiting ranking, right? And he's number 2 in the class. He was number 1. Cooper Flagg reclassifies. Dylan's number 2. 5-star, almost a perfect grade. Top recruit in New Jersey. That in itself, take everything else away, the fact that Rutgers has landed the top recruit in New Jersey, something they've never done, at least in the modern era. That is significant. The fact that the national recruiting scene, they've blown the doors off. Now the class, you have the number 3 recruit, Ace Bailey, another 5-star. And that's what just blows everybody's mind here, is it's not just Harper, it's not just Bailey. The two of them together, that's what's really blowing the lid off expectations, perception, and in terms of changing the way people look at Rutgers basketball. The combination of the two is mind-blowing. And the recruiting class is now ranked number 3 in the 24 class, behind Duke and Kentucky, and then Rutgers. That's another one. That's in and of itself mind-blowing. It happened for many reasons, but what I love is at the core of it is relationships, and family. And Steve Pikiell started winning this recruiting battle when he took in Ron Harper Jr. Not that he took Ron Harper Jr. because of Dylan. Dylan was a little kid at that point. He took Ron Harper Jr. because he believed in him, that he could make him a pro. And he did. And the family trusted Pikiell to do that, and he did. And they did. And, I'll never forget on senior night for Ron, and it just speaks to Ron's personality and demeanor too, because on senior night, he's being honored with his family. And what are the Rutgers fans chanting? We want Dylan. And Ron encouraged it. Ron loved it. And I love that about him. I've had him on the podcast before, but he just gets it. He gets it. And we all know he wanted Dylan to come here, but he said all the right things during his recruitment as well. And I think that he, was more of a big brother than anything, just in supporting his decision, and that it had to be what was best for him. But he's obviously thrilled that Dylan's coming to Rutgers. But if you think back to that moment, that chant, that was over 2 years ago. Rutgers has long been recruiting Dylan for years and years and years, but it goes back to that relationship. It goes back to Dylan playing overseas for the national team, and the only head coach that shows up is Steve Pikiell. Those things mean something, even in the world of NIL, which, listen, NIL was definitely a factor and always will be. But it just shows that the possibilities are endless now. There is no ceiling to Rutgers basketball recruiting. It's blown up. It's gone. Anything is possible. And that's what this moment has shown us. And what Steve Pikiell's been able to do from when he took over this program in 2016, the Ken Palm was 279. He was getting, because of relationships, he was getting in the gym of the top recruits and they were listening, right? But he never really had a legitimate chance with many of them. And to now, steadily just improving recruiting, getting Cliff at the time, top 50 recruit. That was a coup. Even getting, back when he got Paul Mulcahy, that was a big deal. Montez Mathis was a 4-star. Those were big deals. Those were big recruiting wins. He got Mathis over UConn, who at the time it was Ollie still. Hurley wasn't there yet, but still, that was a huge win. And then you get Gavin Griffiths, and now you're getting Bailey and Harper. And then, by the way, the rest of the 24 class I'm really excited about. Lathan Somerville. He's just, I think he's going to be awesome. He's such a unique player, with his size, with his ability to operate on the perimeter at 6'10", but to be able to bang inside as well. He can shoot. Offensively, he's highly skilled for a big man. I'm really excited about him. And then you have two exciting wings in Dylan Grant and Bryce Dortch. And those three guys are going to be around the program for a while. We know that, listen, Dylan and Ace are projected to be top 5 lottery picks in the 2025 NBA draft. Now, a lot can change. But Rutgers just added 2 projected top 5 picks in the 25 class in their own recruiting class. That's insane. And it just has shooken up college basketball. Fan bases are losing their mind. They're salty as ever. They can't believe that Rutgers is doing this, and I think when people question whether these guys can develop at Rutgers, I think one thing that they're missing is that when they come to Rutgers, they're not another name, they're not another number, and they're going to get the utmost support and attention. And I think the key is going to be the summertime where, these guys, Bailey and Harper in particular, last summer, every weekend they were at a different, event, circuit, whether it was AAU or just, a Nike event, all the different brands, and skill camps, all those. And they were beneficial and they got better from it. But they're going to have the opportunity now to be in one place with the same coaches for several months before next season to really develop. And with the skill sets that they have, it's a really exciting prospect. It's really exciting. And how they actually are going to translate on the court. I think the thing to know about Dylan that is so exciting is that if you're going to get the top recruit, right? Ace Bailey is kind of a freak. He's not a normal 5-star. Like, his skill set, just how athletic and skilled, the combination of the two, how versatile his game is. He had I tweeted this today. He had over 40 points and 26 rebounds in his high school game on Tuesday night. He also had 4 assists. I love that. Was actually my favorite part of the stat line because he and scouts and recruiting guys have talked about this over the summer. His ability, he's worked on becoming a better passer. So he has a complete skill set. And Dylan Harper, he makes everyone on his team better. He's not, a 60% shooter, 45% 3-point shooter that's going to score 30 a game. He is going to make his teammates better. He can break opponents down. He can create his own shot. But he's also going to create a lot of scoring opportunities for his teammates. He led the national team in assists overseas in the FIBA Under-19 World Cup over the summer. he's a guy that can do it all. I have a video up on YouTube from the summer when, it was just focusing on his ability to initiate contact at the rim and get to the foul line. He is much more advanced as a player at his age for obvious reasons. I mean, his father, Ron, tremendous NBA player. If you're as old as me, you remember how great he was, on those Bulls and Lakers teams as a key role player. Obviously, Ron Harper Jr. So Dylan is, his IQ is really high coming in. His body, I mean, he's 6'6", but he's really strong. He's got a college body already. He's going to need to get stronger, but he will. I don't think it's going to take that much for him to get there. He can defend multiple positions. He's unselfish as a star, and he's going to have the ball in his hands next year, and he's going to be able to create a lot of offense for Rutgers and create a lot of havoc for opposing defenses. And to have a partner in Ace Bailey who can, it's like a gazelle out there. He makes it so easy. It's easy to forget how skilled he really is. His shot has developed. He can step in, he can shoot outside. He gets to the rim in just a ferocious manner. He's a tremendous rim defender. The two of them are a dynamic duo in the truest sense of the form. And they're going to make a major impact. Now, expectations have to be in line, and we'll talk about that at another time. But the bottom line is Rutgers basketball will never be the same, for better or for worse. There are no limitations in recruiting anymore. That doesn't mean Rutgers is going to get the top recruits every year. But you know what today sends the message to? The 2025 recruiting class. Trey McKinney, Darius Acuff, Darius Adams. All three are ranked in, like the top 25 of the 25 class. They all have interest. They've all visited Rutgers. They have more visits coming up. It shows them that, hey, two of the top three recruits in the country are coming to Rutgers. You could be next. You could be next. And that sometimes in recruiting, the hardest part is getting over that hump. It's like a team learning how to win. It's when you prove that you can get a top recruit, sometimes that's all it takes to get more top recruits. Sometimes, not a lot of people want to be first. And, Cliff helped break down that wall a little bit. Gavin broke down that wall some. And then, boom, the wall is destroyed. Ace and Dylan come marching through that wall. And there are no more limitations. There are no more barriers. You can negative recruit against Rutgers all you want. But two of the top three most talented players in the 24 class are coming to Piscataway for the 2024-2025 season. We have to soak it all in. But today is a monumental day. And I just think, I know people were impatient with Dylan. He had to make the right decision for himself, for his family. But I think he's going to come in with very specific motivations, obviously not only for his own game and his own development and his own career, but, he's coming to Rutgers too because he knows what the impact can be. He saw what his brother could do at Rutgers. He saw how he was endeared by the fan base, and he could have gone to Duke. He could have gone to Kansas. Could have been great there. Would have been another great player. He knows if he can have real success and take the program further than they have been in the modern era, he's going to be remembered forever. He's going to be endeared forever. So he's not just coming here, he's coming here for a lot of reasons. But, and I saw some other fan bases saying, he doesn't have the confidence to go to a blue blood. It's actually the opposite, in my opinion. He has the utmost confidence that he's going to go to a program like Rutgers, and he's like, I'm going to be the guy that makes them great. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing here. And Ace is doing the same thing. And that motivation for me is what I think is going to give them an edge. There's going to be a learning curve, but it's going to give them an edge and a motivating factor that is not necessarily there at other places. And we know how Rutgers has been under Pikiell. When there's a chip on their shoulder, when they have something to prove, when their backs are against the wall, They are at their very best. And these guys are going to come in with a little bit of top recruits are going to come in with a chip on their shoulder because they're going to want to prove that they can make Rutgers great. And there's going to be plenty of doubters. Believe me, the backlash is coming. The backlash is coming. People are going to say, can Rutgers actually win with these recruits? Every loss is going to be magnified to the umpteenth degree. It's going to be wild. Next season is going to be insane. The attention from the national media, the scrutiny, it's just going to be massive. And that's something I'll talk about another time. But in terms of the program being ready for that, that's a step. But these guys are coming here to change Rutgers forever on the court. They've done it with recruiting. They've changed Rutgers forever on recruiting. Now they want to do it on the court. And if you're a Rutgers fan, you have to be elated. It's an amazing day. And I just think, aside from all the ranking stuff, it's just what those two guys can do on the court, Ace and Dylan, and how I think they can mesh together. And it's going to take a full team. You know, you have to build a team around them. They have some guys that, I love the idea of JaMychal Davis in the backcourt with Dylan Harper. I think it's such a great, yin and yang kind of contrast in styles. It's have a smaller, super fast guy that, by the way, has played with Ace for years, knows how to play with Ace. Derek Simpson is a different variety there. He's going to be able to play off the ball more. There'll be some decisions to see, like if Mawat Mag returns. I mean, that would be huge down low. There's a lot of, and then obviously how Gavin fits with Dylan and Ace. I think he's the perfect fit for them because he's a natural shooter. He's a natural scorer. He's a big wing. He's going to benefit tremendously. So there's just so much to be excited about. And it's a landmark day in college basketball, right? Rutgers landing two of the top three. It's great for the sport. And it's surreal, but it happened. And it's an amazing thing. Exciting times are ahead. And Dylan Harper is a Rutgers Scarlet Knight. Thank you so much for watching and listening here at the Scarlet Faithful Podcast.